What's up, y'all? It's time to talk team race. One of the best parts of the state tournament is the team race. And let's talk 1A first. We're really down to 3 teams. URA Charter, Avery, and Robbinsville. Those are the 3 top teams coming in the tournament. Those have been the 3 top teams all year long. So let's break it down a little bit. URA Charter brought 13, Avery 11, and Robbinsville with 9. So what are some keys for each team? For Avery, it's just their guys got to do their job, right? I said in the beginning, I think it's Avery by how much, not if. So if their guys show up and do their job the way they have been all year long and place where they're supposed to place, then the team race shouldn't really be all that close. URA Charter, they need Ethan Hines, Doug Bowles, Grayson Roberts, and Aldo Hernandez to score those big points, and some of those other guys to score some points too. Robbinsville, they have to have their big guns. Kyle Fink, Cage Williams, Ben Nchsaa, and Jay Now score the points they need, but they also need Zane Luck Savage and Willie Riddle and all those guys to score some points on the backside, right? They need those guys to score for them. And then the Panama brothers, I think, are huge for them. I think the Panama brothers can really score a lot of points, especially Little Panama. So some bracket pieces that could really play a factor in this are 106, bottom half. You have Foster versus Hines, first round. URA Charter versus Avery. That match could play a big part in who wins this team race. Whoever advances through, whoever maybe loses but advances to the backside, and then the winner gets Panama. So that bottom half of 106 is huge. I also think that 160 with Bradley Parker meeting Grayson Roberts in the semis is bound to be massive, because the semis is the big round where you score a lot of team points. So whoever wins that one really helps their team out a lot between Parker and Roberts in a potential semi. And same thing goes up a weight with Seth Blackledge versus Doug Bowles in the semi. The winner of that is going to give their team the upper hand in the team race, because those semi points are huge. I think we know each team's got their big guns. Each team has those kids who are going to run it back in the backside and score some points. It's going to come down to those couple key factors, a couple key weights. I think Kenneth Fritz could be huge for Avery, and Ben Jordan could be huge for Avery down there in the lower weights, just because they're at weights where URA Charter and Robbinsville aren't as strong, right? Robbinsville has Logan Hyde at 120, and he's a potential finalist, but those guys could score a lot of points for Avery there. I think that 126, when Niles having a chance to score all those bonus points, and Fink and Cage Williams and Watchshot, those guys are huge there. I think for URA Charter, it's really going to be vital that they get some of these guys who we weren't counting on at the beginning of the year to punch their tickets to the finals, But look for that bottom half of 106 and that 160 and 170 semis matchup to really go a long way in the team race. And let's see, URA Charter, Avery, Robbinsville, who's going to win it all. What's up, y'all? Let's talk 2A team race. One of my favorite things about the state tournament is the team race, and the 2A one is wide open. So let's break it down. We got a bunch of contenders. What do they need to do to win the team race in Greensboro? So the first one, let's start at the top with the dual state champions, Bandies. They're bringing 8 to the state tournament. Yes, they have Caleb Moore. Yes, they have Bodie Kirkland, who are going to score a ton of points on the front side. But I think the keys to their state title are in the hands of Ian Moore, Burkett, Zach Evans, and Brooks at 182. I think those guys are the key. If they can get a couple of those guys to make deep runs on the front side, maybe even punch their ticket to the finals, as well as place high maybe on the backside, that's a lot of points for other teams to overcome. And the thing is, bringing 8 really helps them out. They have more bullets in the chamber, a little more room for air. Really huge for them. At 7 state qualifiers, though, right behind them is West Lincoln. West Lincoln bringing 7. They don't have that surefire finalist. They don't have that guy that we know is going to be in the finals or win a title. I think their 106 pounder Sane is really a key for them, because he is someone that can kind of punch his ticket to the finals maybe. I also think that Chade Norman at 126 is really big for them as someone who can make a deep run. I think the key for West Lincoln, they're gonna have to have a bunch of placers. There's no way around it. They're gonna have to have a bunch of placers. Newton Conover at 5, they're bringing 5 studs, right? With Isaiah Pittman, Owen Clark, Tutty, Brawley, and I'm missing somebody there, but they're bringing 5 studs to the state tournament. Camden Spencer, that's the other one. And I think Camden Spencer actually is the key for them. We know kind of where Owen Clark stacks up. We know Tutty's going to be in the mix to place pretty high. We know Isaiah Pittman's going to probably place really high. Camden Spencer's one of the guys that I think we can see jump into that maybe finalist or top 4. And if he does, that's really going to be a push for Newton Conover. They're really going to need to place all 5 probably and place them pretty high to have a chance to win. Another team is Surrey Central. Surrey Central won the Midwest. You know they're going to have big points of the Price brothers. The Price brothers are going to score maybe 50 points together if things go their way that we think. And then the key for them is the other guys, right? Salazar, LeClaire, Kraus, Lopez. How many points can they score? If those guys collectively can score over 50 points together or around that, sit at that 100-point mark, going to be huge for them. And I think they can. They're in that range. Also, Trinity. Trinity's bringing 5 to the state tournament as well. Jacobson and May are their big point scorers. They're going to be in the finals or pushing to make the finals, so that they're around 50 points there. Now, if they can get some points from Hone, I think he's a point scorer that they can bring home and get some points from him. That's huge, huge on that one. Southwest Onslow punched 9 to the state tournament, guys. 9 to the state tournament, more than any other 2A team. They have a bunch of regional champs. Now, the key for them is just get those regional champs to place, right? We have all seen kind of the West versus the East in 2A this year in particular. And so let's see, if they punch all of those regional champs through and a couple more, Rodriguez Jr. and Duhan are 2 in particular that are really big for them, that are finals potential type guys. If they can punch them all through, they're right in the mix as well. And don't forget about Webb. Webb punched 8 to the state finals, beat Bunn and the 2A Mid-East Regional. So let's see if Webb can take those 8. They're going to need to place a bunch because they don't have that high-end firepower. And the same thing goes for Bunn. Bunn got 6. They have one guy I think that is really huge for them is Scotty Spencer, and then the Sotos as well up at the upper weights. Spencer is huge because he's a guy who has finals potential for Bunn. If Bunn can get one finalist and then the bunch of their guys do really well on the backside, they can put themselves in title contention as well. So you have Trinity. You have Southwest Onslow, you have Webb, you have Bunn, you have West Lincoln, you have Indies, the reigning 2A dual state champs. Don't forget about Mount Pleasant. They won the tournament title a year ago, making me and Rhett both look like a fool because we were Ford Cata all the way. Mount Pleasant came and did the thing. Now, the thing for Mount Pleasant is they only got 4 through. Now, the 4 that they got through, all really good. Pickard, Creighton, McEachern, and Almond, all of them could be in the finals, and they're going to need that. If they're going to win, they're going to have all 4 in the finals scoring like about 25 points apiece to make that 100 mark. That 100 mark is really where we're looking for as far as points, and then see where everything else falls in there. So this team race is going to be nuts, guys. Tune into the 2A team race. Be updated. Check and track. Check in on Rhett and I's videos that we're going to be putting out. Who's going to win this one? I know Rhett, Serena, and Torres row the boat, and Bandy's. It's going to be wild. This one's going to be fun. Check it out. What's up, y'all? Let's talk 3A team race. I love a great team race at the state tournament. I think we're going to have a bunch. 1A is going to be fun. 2A is going to be great. 3A is going to be awesome. So make sure you're tuning in the team race, checking it out. Makes the state tournament even more exciting on top of all the individual matchups we're going to get. So let's talk 3A. Let's start with my alma mater. I'm an alumni there. First Flight High School. First Flight High School is bringing 6. They won the 3A East. I'm gonna be honest. They're gonna have to place all 6, and they've done it before. That's how they won in 2016. They're gonna have to place all 6, and they're all gonna have to place high. Just no room for error for them with the other teams. They'll make up the other teams, and with Milos and Az Simpson and the Krasiski brothers and Gage Tomlin. And I think they can do this, right? They can do that. They can place all 6, and they can place them extremely high. And then you have Union Pines and Orange, both similar makeup teams. Union Pines qualified 9. They qualified 9. Now, we know they have Aiden McCafferty. We know that he's going to score a ton of points. But I actually think it's the other guys that are more important. The Verbacks, the Phineas McCafferty, Gage Lloyd, and Brock Sullivan. I think those guys in particular are vital to their team success. To see if those guys can place high, they're giving themselves a shot. Orange, they don't have that high-end firepower. At least we haven't seen that. We don't think they're going to have a ton of guys in the finals. Heffernan at 126 can certainly get there, but we'll see, right? So Orange is just going to have a bunch of placers, kind of like a Minnesota 2000 NCAA team or 2001, where they placed all 10, no champs. That's Orange's path to victory. And then Cape Fear. Bring in 6. They have high-end firepower with Aponte and Sargent. If they can get the other 4 guys to place on the backside, they're going to insert themselves in that title contending discussion. And then if you look at Cata out of the Midwest, they're bringing 6. Yes, they have Monteperto, Curry, and Ross, who are all going to probably be around that 75-point mark together. It's the other guys that are important. Logan Fight is ranked really high, deservedly so. His bracket is completely stacked. So if he can place high and bring home big points for them, it's huge. And then Lutz and Harris are big. Harris is a finalist contender in that weight at 132. So he might be the most important key to the Cata team race for them if they can punch him through and give themselves another finalist. And then Lutz going to be big for them as well, scoring points on the backside. They have a little room for error, but not much, especially with the last team, which is Fred T. Ford, bringing 10 to the state tournament. By bringing 10 to the state tournament, guys, they give themselves a little bit room for error. And then going through the breakdown, man, they're really tough to pick against. They have the high-end firepower with Carr Floyd, with Zane Burkett, with Dylan Smith, with Colby Mace, with Brock Carey. They have that high-end firepower, but they also have the other guys that are going to do extremely well. After watching Dawson Cody and Connor Weaver wrestle this weekend, they're going to place really high, I think. They looked really good. Very impressed with both those guys. And they have so many bullets in the chamber, something Rhett and I kind of referenced. 10 guys, and they might place all 10. If they do that, obviously it's going to be way over. So little room for error for them. If they punch the number of guys that I just said that can make the finals to the finals, it's probably a done deal for Fred T. Ford. I think Cata and Union Pines can make it interesting. The other teams have pretty much zero room for error when it comes to that. Some big things to watch, and as far as the individual brackets, really keep your eye on 132. Hunter Clark, who is someone I didn't mention for Ford, but he's a returning state finalist, so he's another high-end firepower guy for them. And Braden Mejia, didn't even mention their one returning state champ, another high-end firepower guy for them. So they have the high-end firepower. They have the guys on the backside. But make sure you watch that Hunter Clark, Phineas McCafferty quarter. Neither of them are the regional champ in the quarter. But whether they win first round or lose first round, it's going to be interesting to see kind of the points they can collect for their team in the same quarter. Gage Lloyd and Brock Carey are in the same quarter. So that was a tough match at state duels. It's going to be interesting to see who can emerge from that and who can get to that semifinals spot and try to punch even more points for their team. And then Colin Lutz and Weaver are going to meet first round for Ford Cata. So that's huge, especially because both guys are really important for their team to score points for the team race, right? So Cata needs him. Cata needs him to score something, right? Some points, and preferably place. If they're going to have a shot, they're going to need him to do that. And then Weaver's really good. and he can shut Lutz down and kind of increase Ford's chances to win, right? Their probability will increase if Weaver advances there. So keep an eye on those three weights. Right in the middle is going to be Ford. Are they going to just run the table, kind of what it's looking like? Union Pines, can they make it interesting with their high-end firepower and backside potential? Can Kata take their studs that they got and give them some points on the backside as well? Can First Flight, Cape Fear, and Orange kind of pull off the big upset? I don't know. What team race is going to be the most interesting one, I think, most entertaining one, I should say, right? Just to kind of keep up with who can catch Ford. Check out 3A team race. It's 4A team race time, y'all. I love paying attention to the team race. It's one of the most interesting things about state tournament. We get all these great individual matches, but they all mean something, right? The implications are huge, especially in some weights, especially in some matches. It just adds a little fire. So make sure you're paying attention to our videos, checking track, and paying attention to the team race, because I think all four of them are going to be fun. All four are going to be fire. And it's time to talk 4A team race breakdown. Let's see what each team's got to do to win. So let's start with Pinecrest. Pinecrest, I think it all rests on the shoulders of their four studs: Roland, Dobeck, Hyder, and Merchant. All four of those, they're going to need all four of them to punch their tickets to the finals, I think. If they get all four in the finals, then they're right in the thick of things for the team race. Lumberton is bringing 7 to the state tournament. They got Jackson Buck and Quintez Shipman, who are finals potential type guys. If they can punch their tickets to the finals and they can place a bunch on the backside, watch out. Lumberton's going to be in the mix. Then you got Northwest Guilford, right? They were in the dual final against Laney. They have studs up and down the lineup. Both Pepins are titleless contenders. They also have Will Gibson, who I think is massive. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but I think Will Gibson is massive to their key, right? I think he's going to play a big factor in their run. I think Colin Queen and Kyle Pruden are also really big in their team race implications. If they can get those three guys to place really high with the Pepins in there as well, I think they're right in the thick of things as well. Mooresville has 5. Mooresville's bringing 5 to the state tournament. To be quite honest, they're going to have to place all 5 and place them super high, which all their guys are very capable of. They're bringing super studs. So if they can place all 5 very high, they're going to be in the thick of things. And then if you look at Cardinal Gibbons, they're bringing 8. I think they're very similar to Pinecrest, where they rest on Liam Hickey, Luke Kuth, Tyler Tracy, and I'm leaving out somebody, but they're 4 studs to bring home some titles. If they bring home some titles and get some more points on that backside, again, in the thick of things. So far, Pinecrest, right? They're in it. Lumberton, they're in it. They're in it. Northwest Guilford, Mooresville. Lake Norman is bringing 7 guys, and all 7 can place extremely high. Probably 5 out of the 7 are really favorites to make the finals. I think it really rests on the shoulders of Noah Murray and JT Richards and Eli Murray. I think those 3 right in the row, big potential for all 3. Richards and Eli Murray, really finalist contenders, right? Maybe even championship favorites. 132 is just so wild. I don't think there's a true favorite. And Noah Murray, man, he placed last year, had a hard start to the beginning of the year, really coming on now. So Noah Murray, I think, is really key for Lake Norman, and also Brody Neal and LaCoves too. Those 2 guys, Brody Neal and LaCoves, have been wrestling everywhere, doing everything they need for the team. If they can score some of those backside points that they need and maybe even sneak in place, goes a long way in the team race. And then the big dogs, the defending champs, dual champs this year, Laney. Laney is bringing 12 to the state tournament. Not only does that mean they have more bullets in the chamber, kind of like I talked about in our 3A breakdown with Ford, and that's kind of like what Rhett and I have referred to a lot, but that gives them a lot of margin for error. They don't have to have everything go their way like some of the other teams do. They can have a couple things go wrong and still win the tournament. They have big point scorers with Kodo and the larger Kodo and Devin Bell and Tristan Richardson and Mark Samuel and Noah Thomas and Avery Bonacore. They have all those guys, and they have guys that are going to score points on the backside like Corey Pollock, Charles Bishop, Jaden Harrison. They got all those. Lucas Cotto, he's going to be in the mix to place too. He's been right there all year. So huge. And so a couple brackets to watch specifically for the team race is 132. I think 132 is huge for all the teams. One team I haven't mentioned yet is Huff. Huff's bringing 6, and they have 2 title favorites, really, in Brant Fraserman and Jackson Rolling at 106, and then Michael Pepe looking good as well. So high-end point scores, they're going to have a lot of things go right for them. But 132 is the bracket to watch. I said on the state preview, it's my favorite bracket of any classification, any weight, and it's huge for the team race too, because you have Gibson, you have Eli Murray, you have Jaden Harrison, you have Riley Merchant. Those are all guys on teams that I've mentioned that can win the state tournament here. Definitely ones to watch. Make sure you tune into Kodo at 152. We have a Kodo Brody Neal first round match, which the implications in that are huge. Because I think it's Lake Norman and Laney are kind of the top 2 right now, and everybody else is kind of trying to catch up to them. So pay attention to how that one goes down. If Brody Neal can pull up the upset, that's going to go a long way. If Kodo can advance out of that one, or if Brody Neal loses but he advances far through the backside. So pay really close attention to that first round match. And then Carson Floyd versus Corey Pollock, first round at 285. Floyd a heavy favorite there, but if he can get bonus and continue to distance himself and his team, that's going to help a long way and kind of send Pollock to the backside. It really helps them out. So pay attention to those 3 matchups, those 3 weights. 4A is going to be super fun. Laney, Lake Norman, is it one of them? Or is it going to be Northwest Guilford? Or is it going to be Pinecrest? Or is it going to be Lumberton? Who's going to end up on top? Who do you guys think? Let us know.